Let them come to me, says the Lord. Give me the things that you believed I was going to do, and then allow me to carry out the plan that I have had in mind the whole time. A new day has begun. You are now able to walk with me in a different manner since today is a new day. Put away the dirty garments of yesterday's failure and put on the linen ephod of my now. Walk through the barriers of adversity until you reach your destination. When you look through rather than just with the eye, you will be able to see that there are more people who are on your side than those who are against you. Have you some faith in this? Certainly, you have faith. The new has arrived, the old has passed away, and everything is changing in accordance with my plan from this moment forward. Since you are a believing believer, you should go ahead and allow yourself to be persuaded and convinced on this matter. As of today, the Father has communicated that the cloud of my presence is in motion. I tell you to let the dead bury the dead because you felt it lift, and you wanted to put the vision on life support, but I do not want you to do that. To what do you feel apprehensive? I fashioned you out of nothing, from the dust of the earth, and I breathed the breath of my life into you. Do you not realize that I am bringing your expectations for the future to life? Instead of having a Martha mindset, try having a Mary mentality. Don't utter things like, "Lord, my future is lifeless and stinking." I have called you to be the free spirit that you desire to be. The time for waiting and lamenting has come to an end. This moment is the moment when the stone of offense should be rolled away from the tomb of remorse. At this very moment, the grave garments of disappointment are being unwound, and you are being released from their shackles. Prepare to go. The Lord says, breathe your bonds. Don't be someone who is predictable. I have asked you to do something that you have never done before, walk on water or resurrect the dead. Predictability has never done. That is correct. God says you are a person who walks on water. There is a kingdom for every king, and you are a king, and I am the king. To what extent are you prepared to say, "My kingdom come," in the same manner that I have said, "My kingdom come"? Everything else is a faith that has died. Get rid of the restrictions. For the rest of your life, the words I have given you to say will only rise to the level of your vocation and your confession if you begin to say them out loud. Is it true that I confessed? These dark things, evil sayings, and chains of wickedness are now melting away, and your portion is to be robed in white. Yes, this is the case. It is time to let the past be the past because you are not a child of the past, rather, you are a new creation, and your righteousness is of me. This is a quote from Paul, who has been known to slaughter Christians while also saying, "I have wronged no man." This is what the Father has to say about you. I know you love them, and you continue to love them. Hand them over to me. It is I who deserve that adoration. Provide me with the delicate reins of your heart, and permit me to turn you in the same way that I turn the heart of a monarch, wherever I choose to do so. Pain and loss have both been experienced throughout this time. You have thought, "Oh God, is this the only thing that exists?" You shouldn't let this way of thinking restrict or impede your progress. It is okay. Let go of it. God bless you. Continue on. Looking back will only change the way your life will unfold in the future. When you were oblivious and naive, I was aware of what was going to happen. In the past, I used you, and I continue to use you now. The purpose of this walk is not to examine your personal spirituality or character in any way. This is about me infusing you with a part of myself till other people look at you and say, "I take knowledge of you that you've been with my Jesus." I am aware that your heart is breaking. Permit it to sputter after I Without a doubt, your spirit is parched. Immediately after you make your presence before me, all of the misunderstanding and misdirection will be eliminated in a short amount of time. Have you been enjoying your tears throughout the day and night? Did you hear other people ask, where is their God now? The one who sits in the skies will be the one to laugh. Can you share a chuckle with me? Despite the fact that your spirit is soaring, your soul may be crying. Please allow the hand of your spirit to take hold of the pitcher of your soul, and allow it to transform into a drink offering that is presented to me. The situation will not make any sense at the time, and other people will criticize and cluck their tongues since they do not place any value on anything other than the ordinary and the familiar. When I say that I have called you, I mean that I have called you out of the familiar things and the familiar spirits of the recognizable and the comfortable. My confidence has been placed in you. You have been anointed with the oil of my authority, which I have poured forth on your head. Drive as fast as you can in the direction of the unfolding, just like Jehu. According to the Father, you have made a request for mercy today, and I have responded by saying that mercy is yours. When you took a glance at the circumstance and saw what other people appeared to get away with, you said to yourself, that's not fair. I am not always fair, but I am always just. This is what God says to you, and you should keep this in mind. Leave it to me to deal with situations in which people appear to be able to get away with waving their fist in my face or saying, the Lord, when I am not in the same room as them. I will compensate you, and I will compensate them as well. Yet, as I bring you to rest on the threshing floors of my purpose, I will cause your tongue to cleave to the roof of your mouth. I am threshing you and I am threshing them so that the chaff may be consumed by an insatiable fire, and the grain, of who I am in you, may be gathered into my garner and ground into the bread of God to satisfy the soul that is without sustenance. This is the time of year when you will be showered with affection and mercy. Yes, this is your season of pruning, and there will come a time when you will be able to say, God, you may have pruned too much. It is too deep of a cut. When Abraham bound his son, his only son, on the altar, he said to Isaac, I have provided myself with a ram. I say this to you as well. While you were ensnared in the thicket of your obedience, the ram of your faith was caught. You should shake yourself, God advises. To get a better understanding of what is going to happen tomorrow, you need to get rid of the malaise of theological uncertainty that is trying to reconcile the circumstances of today with what I stated yesterday. Thinking in this manner is an example of time-bound thinking, which is a consequence of having a perspective that is flawed. Although you have fallen, you have been redeemed. As the hands of man's time click on the clock, your time is always now, because you are walking in my eternal now. You are a new creation. Are you able to provide an answer right now? Are you prepared to leave this world and enter eternity, secure in the knowledge that you are as young as I am and as old as I am, and that you will undoubtedly achieve everything that I have placed with you in your heart to do? The Father has spoken to us today, saying that your restoration is a future that is full of promise. After a lengthy period of testing and a period of uncertainty brought on by setbacks, accidents, and failures on the verge of breakthrough, you are now graduating into this future. Now that the season has totally changed, a change in the spirit is reversing the course of your captivity and restoring your soul as well as everything else that was taken from you. It is not the time to weep once more, rather, it is the time to celebrate and be glad, for a wonderful story of restoration is about to be written in the archives of heaven, and it is about you. According to the Father, you will be aware of my thoughts of peace and favor for you, which are a component of the plan to provide you with a significant recovery and restoration. The times and dates of your graduation have been decided upon, and the crowd of people who have been cheering for you from the beginning will be present to observe them. Your accomplishments will be honored with a ceremony that is appropriate for the occasion. God says that He will bestow upon you a certain degree of advancement and elevation, and that you will be considered among the warriors and more than conquerors for your accomplishments. Because it is your time and your turn, you should get up and shine because you already possess everything that you require within you. When you make a decree, it will be put into effect when your standing in the realms of the Spirit rises through the ranks. The later years of your life will be more enjoyable than the earlier ones, and I will ensure that you have a long life. Your days will be fulfilled, you will reach great heights, and you will walk in lofty places by serving the purposes of the kingdom. According to the Father, these are not days of hopelessness or tragedy, but rather excellent days of celebration and celebration of hope. In today's message, the Father encourages us to get out of our slumber and move on. Make sure that the symptom does not have the ability to speak with more authority than my word. You will be protected by me. I am going to keep you alive. The grave does not speak a single syllable. My message of hope to those who are suffering in the darkness will be established by the miracle that I place in your possession, which will serve as a testimony to my wonderful nature. You should say to yourself, "Light be." Because I am the light that shines in the world, I have decreed that you will be the light that shines in the Lord. You are responsible for this, and it is your obligation to do so. To refrain from thinking in the same way as other people or from following the lemmings of religion all the way down to the sea of their hypocrisies. Why should you end your life? Why don't you live your life in praise and witness of my magnificence as I deliver something from nothing and a miracle at the 11th hour precisely when you need it the most? There is no concern for the individual who did not receive deliverance, because the individuals who did not receive deliverance are the ones for whom the world is not worthy. In a world without end, where my righteousness covers the land as the seas cover the sea, I have made you an inheritor in the earth. I have made you an inheritor in the earth. This is what God says, "Come out into my billows." Out of the wading pools of religion that are ankle deep, you must emerge. Create a path that allows you to get past the barriers that exist between what I have said in the past and what I am saying right now. Have you made up your mind to come out? Are you willing to come out of dead thinking and dead life till you are no longer identifiable to the counsels of the uninformed who believe they have the market on what I'm going to do next? How far are you willing to go? You are not a barnyard believer. I have heard their ideas and I have seen what they have going for them, and I say to you now why you should listen to them. They have got me all correct. In the midst of the dry leaves of theological impotence, you are not being asked to claw out some hope that has fallen to the ground. I will give you my life, which no doctrine can encapsulate other than life and life more abundantly, which I came for you to have and walk in and know, and I will lead many into the pastures of green that I have prepared for all those who place their trust in me. If you give me your doctrine, I will give you my life. Today, the Father says, "My people will perish because they do not have sufficient wisdom." The most important thing is wisdom, so, you should acquire wisdom, and along with that, you should acquire knowledge. More valuable and expensive than gems or gold, these are more potent than strength. They are extremely valuable. If you are wise, you will own every good and perfect gift that I deliver to you. I will give you all you need. In order for you to be a benefit to others, it is my hope that you will be blessed and that your name will become famous. Having no anticipation of good results in the loss of a great number of blessings, which, in fact, are working against you and me by using words that are opposed to what we believe. When you truly talk about your own failure, even in a light-hearted manner, it elevates things to a whole other level. It is one thing to anticipate that unfavorable events would transpire, but it is an entirely different aspect. You can cast off those ideas that tend to a future of downturn and replace them with my words that will give you your inheritance of life, peace, and victory as you begin to get a better understanding of what you are thinking about. Your expectations, as well as what you say and do, are shaped by your ideas, whether they are positive or negative. You will be able to move in the opposite spirit and speak triumph if you are able to capture the thoughts of loss and enable my word to wash your mind. This will allow the mind of Christ to be developed within you. My mind is challenged by skepticism, doubt, unbelief, fear, and distraction. All of these things are adversaries. My heart is filled with faith, and my attention is fixed on the prize, which is you. Due to the fact that faith is acquired by hearing and hearing through my word, you are able to have faith in your faith. Every individual received the same amount of faith from me. It is at your disposal to provide assistance. You may rely on it. The number of times that Jesus said, "Your faith has made you whole," is not known. When you move out into ministry to other people, the gift of faith elevates it to an even higher degree than your previous level. Once your faith has been strengthened by my word and my spirit, you can ask for whatever it is that you desire, and it will be granted. Speak to the mountain and see it collapse, and say to your mind, "Be renewed and subject to the Holy Spirit that is within you." Believe what I say and speak it out loud. When you realize that the good things I started in you, I really am faithful to finish them as well, you will be filled with joy. Today, the Father encourages you to disengage from thinking that is constrained by time and instead enter the eternal context of your true being. This is not a time constraint for you. A year, a month, or even a day is not a constraint on your actions. You have time because I am the God of time and eternity, and because I have time, you have time as well. Time is not running out, says the Father, and my glory is pouring in. My favor is going before you to make the crooked way straight and open to you anew the doors of blessing and opportunity that were slammed in your face in the past. My wind is at your back, and my favor is going before you. It is when you adopt the Christ mind that the winds and oceans obey, and when all creation itself bows down to the faith-filled confession of your heart. This is because you are aware of the truth of the price that I paid to cause you to be on earth as I am in heaven, and you walk in that reality. According to the Father, the pygmy religion is no longer capable of containing the entirety of your comprehension of the secret anymore. Your path with me is now based on the underlying reality of who I am in you at this very moment or moment. You are the source of both my vining and my branching. I am using you as a mirror. I am accomplishing something in you that is not only unexpected but also, according to the criteria of some theological traditions, illegitimate. Because many people have told me that I would not or could not do something, I am blessing you in front of their eyes. However, I am God, and I have the ability to do everything I want at any time I want, and I don't have to check with anyone else, so celebrate. According to what the Father has revealed to us today, there is no salvation in man, that there are no answers or solutions that can ever satisfy. In order for the entire dividend of Calvary's gift to be poured into your life and position, it is necessary that the price that was paid fulfills all of its requirements perfectly. God says that change is on the horizon. In contrast to the Dutchman, who is gradually becoming less noticeable, the one new man that you are in me is rising to the occasion. In order for you to shine brightly on the day of my glory, the tares in your field are laying down, and the wheat is standing up. God invites you to enter into that glory by being baptized into my death so that you may be immersed in the baptism of my resurrection. God encourages us to move beyond the familiar and into the unknown. I want you to give me the grief and sorrow that you have experienced. Let there be a huge exchange, says God, of beauty for ashes and the oil of gladness that is now being poured out to wash away the spirit of sadness now that it has been poured forth. God declares that sorrow and sighing will be banished on this day. The dawn of joy and light arrives. The load is replaced by a state of rest and stagnation of spirit, as well as by a state of freshness and purification brought about by my hand. According to God, this is your part, and this is your allotment, and the righteousness that you possess emanates from me. Today, the Father tells you that you are surrounded by a large cloud of witnesses who have completed their course. There are some who have completed their journey successfully, while others have come to me with an unfinished destiny, yet, my plan for you will not be rejected. Despite the fact that you have experienced feelings of loneliness and isolation, the Father assures you that you are not abandoned and that you are not devoid of the love of those who have passed on before you. They are waiting in the wings of heaven for the conclusion of everything that they would not be able to achieve without you contributing to their perfection. Rest in this idea and this reality, and find peace in it, because my wind is at your back, and the applause of heaven is over your head as you confront every struggle, and rise up to the new life I have for you each day, says God. Rest in this thought and comfort yourself in this fact. Today is the day to reach out to me in order to receive the highest and finest that I have in store for you. Because I am not waiting, there is no need for you to wait. Instead, you should proceed to press in. Your words, your affirmations, and your faith will bring you closer to being accepted. Allow your tongue to pronounce the decrees that my word will provide support for and that the entirety of heaven will support. For you, today is a whole new day. Things of the past have been replaced. Allow those things that have been buried and buried alive to return to their proper position while you continue to forge ahead into the full destiny that I have planned for you. My love envelopes you like a mantle, and this is the portion that I share with you. My love that is not conditional, envelopes you and holds you so close at this very moment that the adversary, upon seeing how much I love you, is completely disheartened in his attempt to attack you and retreats from the battlefield in defeat. The Father says to you today, let my blood be sprinkled in your heart so that you can be cleansed of an evil conscience. You are excused from the more weighty subjects of judgment, justice, demonstrating mercy, and loving your fellow man because you have an evil conscience. If you have an evil conscience, you are exempt from these things. As you go about your day, make sure to let everyone you come in contact with off the hook of the harsh judgments that are rooted in the religious mind. In the same way that you are freeing the lives of others from the shackles of your opinions, I will free you from your shackles and leave behind a blessing that you are unable to contain. God says, I have not called you to do, I have called you to be. It is your share to be the beloved. All obedience, sacrifice, and destiny flow out of this location and this posture of rest. I have not called you to do. To get into the rest of knowing that I am sufficient, I must undergo labor. Rather than focusing on who you are or what you can do to impress me from a religious perspective, your entitlement is in who I am and what I have done throughout my life. Which offering are you going to present to me? Such is the spirit of a humble and contrite individual. As you draw yourself away with me, God says, that is where I live, and that is the heart that I inhabit. Thank you for your attention. I have not called you to an ism or a simple manifestation of religion. Rather, I have called you to live in my spirit, which transforms the atmosphere and takes you to heavenly realms in Christ. This is what the Father says. According to the Father, I am standing at the door and knocking. Be open to me because I have prepared my table, and everything is in readiness for the complete benefit of Calvary to be made evident in your day to meet every need in your life, from the smallest annoyance to the heaviest weight. Pray with your mouth alone. In answer to your prayer that is filled with faith, my will is revealed in the biblical text and brought into existence. Pray with your mouth opened. I have listened to you at the time that was scheduled, and I have not excluded or disqualified you in any manner. As a result of the power of the blood that was shed on your behalf, you are qualified to receive a favorable response from heaven. The God of this world, the little g God, has been revealed. My people are plagued by debates and illegitimate demands that were never a part of what I had in mind, and he seeks things that he is unable to have. Have faith in me. Trust that in me as your loving shepherd, you shall not lack. You will not be lacking in any excellent thing by any means. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil bears no fascination for that individual who contented themselves to suckle at my breast and drink heartily of the milk of my truth and the honey of my prophetic directions made known in your life by the word of the Lord. The absence of dread and the absence of a feeling of alienation are both present. We are a single entity. In the adored, you are welcomed and accepted as you really are. Nothing is wrong. You have the ability to experience transformation, shift, upgrade, and blessings today. In today's message, the Father says, "My word is a lamp to your feet and a light to your path, illuminating the way in which you should go at the appropriate time." I am aligning you with people who you are to link arms with as your family and tribe, and you will not waste your fruit before it is time, nor will you fall behind, for I am bringing you into alignment with them. There is a place for you in this repositioning, even if you are experiencing a great deal of isolation. It is not necessary for you to make an effort to figure it out or to look for such individuals because I am aware of how to communicate with you. You are able to step into the destiny that is unfolding before you because of your willingness, which opens the door, and your obedience, which paves a way for you to walk into it. There is no justification for allowing the uncertainties to affect your thoughts in any way. As soon as you become aware of it and decide to get rid of it, it will no longer have a place in your life. You have the ability to recognize those thoughts that are not mine and to reject them. You are destined to think my thoughts. I will lead you through the open doors that have been set in front of you, and as I do so, a newfound serenity will engulf your heart. You will always have my word behind you, telling you that this is the way to walk in it by speaking this. You suddenly find that things that you had never given any thought to before suddenly make sense. New doors, new opportunities. Right now, you are experiencing a surge of newfound freedom and excitement that you were not previously aware were possible. Contrary to what many people believe, I am not nearly as dissatisfied with anything. To answer your question, yes, my deepest wish is that everyone would be rescued, and it is a disappointment that not everyone will be saved. However, I am aware of the conclusion from the very beginning. Because I understand you, I am the one who comes out on top in this situation. You do not possess the devil, and the devil does not have any more power over you than you give him by the words, thoughts, and deeds that you choose to engage in. In the event that you do not accept what he is offering, he will go and find someone else to annoy. The Father says today, yes, even that thing that appears to be insurmountable, even if it may take some time, wait for it will come, and it will arrive exactly when it is supposed to. Waiting is a challenging act, yet it is an essential component of your existence. It is not necessary to have faith when you are able to obtain everything you desire at the time you desire it. You will be able to inherit the promises if you have both trust and patience. Or, if you never had to wait, how would you learn either of those things? During this period of waiting, you are not denying anything. Rather, you are being shaped to deal with the promises that are becoming present in your life. Be at peace with yourself and the circumstances you find yourself in order to be resilient and prepared when the time is right. Put your faith in me because things will not always be like this. At this point, it is necessary to refuel, readjust, and refocus your efforts. You are now able to carry out the activities for which you have been preparing throughout your entire life. No matter how old you are or how young you are, I have a good plan for your life that will hopefully result in an increase in your faith and glory. Expected end does not suggest that everything is over. Rather, it refers to the place where I had always meant for you to be. A location that is free and peaceful, unity and harmony, and a place to rest. According to your standards, the process has been somewhat lengthy, yet, each and every item in my book has been completed on time. When you enter the convergence season, there will be nothing lacking and nothing missing in your life. There will be no hurdle, fear, or uncertainty that can stop your forward progress. There will be nothing that might stop you from moving forward. When everything begins to fall into place, when Murphy's Law has no effect on your life because you have entered the glory zone, and when you become a precise reflection of Jesus in the world, you have reached a point where everything is going to start falling into place. In the words of the Father, today, receive of my fullness this day. You are the source of my fullness, and my fullness flows to you like a vast torrent of force that is far above everything that the world can put up against you. In the very core of your being, bastions of blessing and favor are being constructed, and the fixtures of disappointment are being removed. God states that you are right in the middle of the target of my favor. I will hold them in contempt while I go about doing in you exactly what your critics believe I will not do or cannot do because I am God. Others will set a target on your back and boast that I will not walk with you or bless you, but I will hold them in contempt. It is entirely up to me to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and I am not accountable to anyone.